Hey, everyone, and welcome to the first On That Note podcast. My name is Chad Reed, and I'm sitting here with my partner in crime, Miss Molly Montague.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, Molly?
This is exciting. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited, too. This is going to be a lot of fun to do.
Absolutely. It's been a long time in the making, and we're finally here.
We are. We had some things, some ideas to throw out, and somehow we landed on a podcast because everybody and their grandmother has a podcast these days. So why not New Level Music?
Yeah. Why not jump on that bandwagon?
Absolutely. So hopefully, guys, we'll throw you some interesting interviews and some good content. We're going to be exclusive on our YouTube channel for right now, so you can't get us on Spotify or iTunes at the moment. Maybe in the future, but right now it's going to be exclusive to our YouTube channel. So make sure you stay up to date and stay following us along on social media, so that you know when our episode will drop each week and each month.
Oh yeah, we'll put it out on all social media platforms, so you guys will be aware. I think the plan is right now to do one every couple weeks,
yes.
Like twice a month or so.
Yep.
Maybe, alternate them with our behind the music videos that we've been doing, but we really want to put out a lot of content on this podcast so you guys can hear some cool stuff and some cool interviews from people.
So what do we have coming up for them?
For right now, I think our next podcast is going to be the man himself, Patrick Avard.
Nice.
The head honcho and CEO of New Level Music.
The boss.
The boss man. That'll be a good one for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of cool stories and a lot of cool things to talk about.
He does. I've known Patrick. Wow, this makes 20 years that I've known Patrick.
Wow. Where did y'all first meet?
I met Patrick when we both cheered at Florida Atlantic University down in Boca Raton.
That's right. Y'all know a lot of industry folks from down there, don't you?
We do. It was kind of the All-Star Cheer it definitely wasn't as big as it is now. And it was still kind of on the rise in its infancy stage. But college cheer was a big deal, and that's where I met Patrick, and a lot of our close friends these days. That's kind of where we started.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know a lot of folks that contact us for music, and they say they know Patrick from FAU or just from college cheerleading days from when he was at FAU. So I know a lot of you guys have I think that's kind of like not where it all began, but I think all of you have kind of like grown the industry from then, from that time.
Yeah, and it's funny because, and I'm sure we'll get into this when he's on here, but I heard his first mix.
Who was it?
I want to say it was South Florida All-Stars.
Oh, really?
Because that's when Patrick coached All-Star Cheerleading.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
Yep.
I'd love to hear that mix.
It definitely is not what it is now, but it was a good mix for back in the day.
Knowing Patrick, I'm sure he probably still has that mix on file somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He saves everything.
I'm sure he does. But yeah, so like I've known Patrick since 1999 when I moved to Florida, not knowing a soul except one person. That was a big step for me, being a North Georgia boy, going to a completely different world in South Florida.
Oh yeah, I bet that was a transition, to say the least.
It was a culture shock. I mean, I don't classify myself as a country boy, but North Georgia is, it's not the city, it's not big city living, but going down to South Florida where there's just a whole bunch of different cultures mixed in one, it was good for me because I was able to expand my horizons, meet new people, And, when you grow up, I didn't mean to get this deep so soon, but like when you grow up,
let's do it.
Being around the same kind of people and the same kind of culture, you don't get closed-minded, but when you meet other people from different backgrounds, it helps you become more open-minded and accepting of others.
I agree with that. I think that's college in general, honestly.
It is.
I live and have grown up in Kennesaw, which is Metro Atlanta, and I actually went to Kennesaw State University. And I went to a college in the same town I grew up, but just going to college where there's people from all different sides of the country and the world, honestly, just being exposed to that, even though it was the same location that I've always grown up in, it was still eye-opening for me. Sure. And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, it was definitely very different. And I was the outsider because like I said, I moved there with not knowing anybody except one person who I moved down there with. And she was going to cheer with us, but she ended up not cheering. So it ended up being just me. And then, it was just, it was different. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than completely out of my element, completely, because I'm the kind of guy, of course I say that I'm not country, but back then it was, hey, can you mash that button? And they looked at me like, what did you just say? I said, mash the button. They said, Chad, you mash potatoes. You don't mash a button. No, you mash the button.
You don't consider yourself country compared to the country people.
Right. I didn't drive.
But everyone else does.
Yeah, I didn't drive a tractor to school. As opposed to some people.
Yeah, there are those out there for sure, especially in North Georgia.
There are. So, I still have somewhat of an accent, I think, but I definitely had one then, especially down there. I have an accent. So,
oh yeah.
It was eye-opening, but it was fun. Like, I met a lot of my good friends today, and Patrick, but yeah, having that history, allowed me to come on board with New Level, because he made the phone call to me when he first had the idea to start New Level and get a bunch of us together. And he made the phone call to me in 2011.
Yep.
And then we started up in 2012.
Yep. So my transition into New Level, I was living in Kennesaw, going to college, and Patrick actually lived in Kennesaw at the time, and I was working at a restaurant through college, and he always came up there. He and a big group of friends, they would come to like Wednesday night trivia and stuff, and Patrick ended up being one of my regulars, and he got the idea of New Level Music and asked if I would be interested in coming on as like y'all's customer service rep. And I was like, will you sign off on my college internship? And he's like, absolutely. And I was like, count me in. Little did we know it would grow to what it is today, right?
I know. It was interesting because, I had done music shortly after I left FAU. It wasn't too long after that I started mixing music on the old Acid Pro. No, it wasn't Acid Pro. It was Cool Edit Pro. That's what we started mixing at, or I started mixing music on. And so that was, I think, 2001. I started playing around with music, and so I've been doing it ever since. And so throughout the years, me and Patrick still communicated and kind of talked and hung out at competitions and stuff. And so when he wanted to do this, I had been doing some of those New Level seminars, the
workshops.
Yeah, the workshops. And so he wanted me to come on and kind of come under the same umbrella. And I remember when we first got together, it was 5 of us, right?
Yep.
It was me and Andy and Patrick, and then Eric Sark and Chris Means.
And Taylor.
Taylor wasn't that first year. He was the next year.
Was year two? He was year 2. Okay.
Yep. He was year 2. And then I remember you walking in because he had already kind of introduced you to us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you walking in because you have a cheer background somewhat, right? Like you coached a little bit.
Yeah, I cheered in high school and I coached. I was never like big into all-star, but I knew somewhat of, the cheerleading world for sure.
Yeah. So when you came in, this was my introduction to you or your intro to me was I turned and looked at you and said, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you ready for this?"
First conversation ever with Chad Reed.
Yep. And you're like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, you're going to find out."
I had no idea. I had no idea, dude.
Because you're going to be the go-between between the coaches and the gym owners and us producers. And I was like, do you really know what you're getting into right now?
I did not. I did not know. I thought I knew. I knew everything then, though, right?
Right. We all do.
Yeah, we all do. I know everything now for sure.
Absolutely. But yes.
But now even my job title has changed so much. I have, we have Desiree in the office, and I don't really handle much of the customer service anymore. I mean, I talk to some of our clients that I have a personal relationship with, but the company has evolved so much. Everything's so different from when it was. And that was only how many years ago? 7 years ago, 7 years ago.
Wow. That many already.
I know. Geez. Well, no, it was, yeah. Well, Gus, I guess it was 7 or 8 years ago now, because that was in 2012.
Yeah, we started in January of 12, but we got together and met in 11.
Yeah. So, gosh, that's been a long time, Chadwick.
It has. And
look at us now.
We've come a long way. It's
doing podcasts and stuff.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, we've actually got a lot of good things planned. We've started the Behind the Music series that has really taken off. So far we've had Stingray Steel. We started with Cheer Extreme Senior Elite and Prodigy Midnight. But I mean, we've got a lot of really, really cool projects coming up that I'm excited about. You're excited about. We've got some good interviews coming up. We've got the man himself, Patrick. Then we have the other man himself, Anthony Arasi.
Oh, Anthony's going to be a good one. He's an interesting fellow.
He's what we call an intellect.
That's a good way to describe him for sure.
I mean,
he's interesting because he has no history in the cheerleading world whatsoever, except for when he was brought on to New Level Music. He's a music guy, like a mainstream music guy. So his story is cool. I think everyone's going to really like hearing about him. Yeah,
he went to Full Sail University down in Orlando, and his job as an audio engineer, like a full-time, like mainstream engineer. And so Patrick talked him into doing cheer music and as a side job, and now it's his day job.
Yeah, now he's our executive engineer, helps everybody in the company.
And we couldn't do it without him. No,
we couldn't. He's invaluable to the company for sure.
even for this podcast, like we're having to sometimes we'll have some technical issues and he'll have to swing by the office to fix it.
He had to come by and set up all my microphones and headphones and everything. I know, I've never felt so incompetent. It's so easy for him.
It is. But yes, we've got him coming up. We've got Desiree coming up. We'll do one with
Desiree. Yep. Desiree in the office. We'll get some of the other New Level producers. Taylor will be a fun one. Eric. They're both out in Texas. They'll be fun to interview. And then hopefully we can start, doing this maybe at the competitions one day, interviewing people we run into. Hopefully we can get some good folks on here.
We'll do some live shots at competitions, like you described it perfectly when we were talking about it. You want us to be the E! News of the cheer world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Just kind of, we talk to so many big people in the industry. Why not share those conversations with everyone else, you know?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. We want to do, industry talk. We want to do, get people from outside of the industry that will benefit us, like sports, nutrition, strength and conditioning, like those kind of people that can benefit coaches and athletes and parents as well.
Absolutely.
We want to try to get athletes on here and gym owners and coaches and maybe some parents to get their perspective. So we want to really touch on every aspect of the cheerleading industry, not just music. Like, we want to make that clear. Like, this is not a music podcast. We're going to start out that way because that's where the area that we live in. But
that's our wheelhouse.
it is. But we're going to really touch on a whole variety of the cheerleading industry.
Yeah, I think it'll be great to learn about all the personalities that go into, making our world what it is and the evolution of how it got here. I think cheerleading as a sport has such a cool story just in general. And I think a lot of the time it's underestimated too.
It is, for sure.
From people outside of the industry. So it'll be cool to get all the personalities that we talk to every day out there for everyone to hear.
And, we're going to be able to get some interviews with people who have been there from the beginning. And just hear from their perspective where the all-star cheer industry started and how it got to where it is today.
And where it's going from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm excited about what the future holds.
I am too. This is going to be a fun little project for us to do. Like I said, we've got several irons in the fire right now with this podcast and the Behind the Music series that we're doing, which, of course, I'm loving it. Like, that's...
Oh, it's so much fun. I love hearing the stories. Like, when we were interviewing Kareem with Prodigy, half of the stuff he was saying, I was like, I didn't even know that. Like, that's so cool for everyone to hear. But I mean, I liked it myself, just getting to know, not only because I'm in the studio with Pat all the time, so I know what goes on there, but there's so much more than just studio life when it comes to music.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and how the concepts are created, what goes in the process of making each mix from Patrick's point of view, and just the songwriting and the producing and the vocal talent, the coaches who have these amazing concepts. It's we really hope that we're able to show you that whole process.
Absolutely. And we want feedback from our clients and from listeners and from viewers of the Behind the Music. We want feedback. We want to know what y'all want to see. So hit us up on social media, shoot us an email.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's get to talking, and we'll really put some content out there that we hope you guys love.
Yeah, because the whole idea behind this was, for the past few years, we've done the lyric videos, and that's been had such a great reaction to it. We want to add more content. We want to do more for everybody else. So that's why we wanted to do the podcast. That's why we wanted to do these behind the scenes videos, to really just give a more inside look on the process of everything.
Absolutely. And once the lyric videos are done throughout the season, it's like those drop off in, December and January. And then what, then what do we put out throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah.
And this plugs that hole for sure.
It does. So, I went to, just to give a little background on me, I did go to film school. So I've got some training in that. And so I wanted to find a way to bring more value to New Level Music than just being an audio producer, and find a way that I can find my niche. Is it niche?
Yeah.
It's niche.
Niche.
Like,
I've heard niche, but I say niche.
Well, Nietzsche is the philosopher, right?
I don't know. You're going over my head now, Chad.
Where's Anthony? Call Anthony.
I know. Call Anthony Hildo.
No,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
it's niche.
Niche. I think it's niche.
Well, because we were having the conversation earlier, and I'll go ahead and call myself out on this.
Oh Lord, we were off mic, and now you're bringing it, bringing it into the universe.
Well, look. I mean, I've heard it both ways. I asked Molly because she's smarter than I am. Is it coming down the pike or coming down the pipe with a K or a P? I've always heard it, like I've heard it both ways. And
I mean, it's coming down the pipe, like pipeline. Pike
right.
is just wrong.
Well, thank you. But like coming down the pike, like isn't there in like sledding or something like that's called a pike, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Because the half. Well, no, that's even a pipe. The half pipe.
No, it's the half pike.
I don't think so, Chad, because it's like a pipe cut in half. It's a half pipe.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. We're going to have to Google this. I can make an argument. But no, I'm not sure.
Well, then I think announcers need to pronunciate and enunciate better on TV. Because it sounds like they're saying pike, like a pike jump.
I love how our introduction to the entire world is this conversation, Chad.
Yeah, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm pretty intelligent. But things like this really confuse me.
I'm a numbers gal. Don't ask me to spell anything or how to pronounce something, but I can do a mathematical equation for you.
Absolutely.
I run the numbers of the company, and that's what I'm good for.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's not a computer and an editing software, I'm worthless.
Yeah. Well, good thing we're doing this then, right?
Absolutely. So if anyone out there knows the correct term, please let us know.
Yeah. Shoot us a little comment.
Educate us.
Educate us.
Educate us.
This is a group effort, guys. We're all in this together.
And look, when you do, show your work. Like, I want examples. I want to know where you got it from, not just, it's this word. No. Prove it. This is geometry. Prove your theorem. Which I did horrible in, by the way, in school. Absolutely horrible in geometry.
Oh, I see. All my math classes, I was good to go. It was like I had to pay someone to write my English papers, all of that stuff. But that's why I went to accounting school. I have an accounting degree, and it was like right up my alley. See, I can handle that, but I can't write a paper to save my life.
I love writing.
I struggle writing emails.
I can vouch for that.
I send drafts to people to approve before I send them out to clients.
See, and I'm the complete opposite. Like, I love writing, which is, and this is an interesting tidbit. Like, I enjoy writing, and I enjoy, because I went to film school, I enjoy writing scripts. I enjoy writing stories. That's a hobby of mine. Like, I love sitting down with my computer and just writing and telling a story. However, ironically enough, it's very hard for me and a different part of the brain to write a song for music.
Interesting.
It really is. Like, I don't know why it is. I think I need Anthony or somebody, or actually Amori would be a good one to talk to about this.
Oh yeah, we'll have Amori on for sure. He is so talented.
He is. He
can do anything. He can sing, he can rap, he can write. He can do anything. Yeah,
he's amazing, and he'll definitely be a good one to have on. But for some reason, like, it's just a different way of telling a story. But I have a harder time writing lyrics for a song than I do a script. Because
a song is so concise. You've got to say it in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say it exactly right, in the right way. Whereas a story, you can elaborate on things. You can really get your point across.
Yeah.
And a song, you have to be really talented in, not saying you're not talented, Chad,
Thank you for that.
but you have to be talented in, getting your point across in a short time frame, a short amount of words that also rhyme.
Exactly. Exactly. And so,
Not my thing.
no, I check Rhyme Zone website a lot just to make sure I'm rhyming the right words.
Oh yeah.
Because you can type in the word and it'll show you different words that rhyme with it. And Rhyme Brain, I think is one. But
I just Google what rhymes with blank.
Perfect.
It's just as effective.
Touche. But I've written commercials that I've shot, short films. I'm working on a feature-length film. But sitting down and writing a song for these mixes, it's just a different way to use words, and it's challenging for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we ask for so much information from the client, because the more information we have from them, the more you have to work with and the more you have to write about, more content you can create for the mixes.
Right. And actually, I'm just now working on edits now for a client, and it's a new one that I had this year. So I haven't really developed that relationship with them yet to know what they're looking for and how they want their mixes. So the first draft, it was a good draft and they enjoyed it, but it wasn't exactly what they were looking for. But once they gave me more information, then I was like, oh, I got it now. So now I'm able to go back and get it just right.
Right. Exactly. You kind of had to know more what they were thinking in their head. A lot of the jobs you guys do as producers is just trying to read people's minds, honestly.
Yeah. It is. And sometimes it's good for a client to say, we trust you, just kind of go with it.
Uh-huh.
Because that does give us more freedom to be creative with the mix.
Sure.
Which that's nice. But it's also nice when a client gives us a song list through our catalog and we want this song, this song, this song, this song. I'm like, well, that's half the battle for me.
Right. Trying to find songs that they like.
Yeah. So it's, there's
a happy medium.
There is.
We want it to go in this direction, but you kind of do your thing.
Right. So, yeah, because, some teams like a mix full of voiceover. Some team want just their team names in it throughout. And so it's building that relationship and knowing what they want is important.
Exactly. Relationships are so important in what we do. Not only for that reason, just to know your client and know what they're looking for, but I think trust is a big thing in the industry. Growing that trust with our clients, that's important. So they do trust you to go, do what you feel is right for the mix. Mm-hmm. And they kind of come to it with an open mind. But, being a new client, working with a new company, it's nearly impossible to have that trust with your vendor.
Right. Yeah, we have to earn it.
Absolutely. And I think we're doing a good job of that. I think as the company's grown, that's something we've always kept in mind is, we get more clients and more clients or more producers. Now we're managing 15 producers and all of their clients. And we still need to have that small company feel where they can call us and get us on a phone call and have a, not in person, but a voice conversation with us. And that's so hard to get now. But that's why we've always, kept multiple people in the office, multiple people on customer service, because we want all of our clients to be, half of the clients text me on my cell phone every night. I get back with them at 6 a.m. when the kids wake up. But it's important to have that relationship with our clients, especially in this industry. I think it's all relationship driven.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think maybe I'm just a sap and a hopeless romantic. Well, I am. but but I think every industry needs to be relationship driven.
I think it's all going that way. Like you see even the big corporate companies or like Google and stuff, like they're all, going on that trend where they want their workers to be happy, their employees to be happy. And then in turn, the customers are happy because they're dealing with happy people every day. Mm-hmm. I think just in general, the world is moving that way, in my opinion.
It is. And,
or it should be.
I completely agree. And especially on the gym level, it's a completely different beast. When I owned my gym, my family couldn't understand because I had people, and I think like every gym has, had issues with payments and people not paying. Well, sure. I mean, it's easy on the outside for somebody, especially a small gym in a small town, for someone on the outside to be like, well, just get rid of them. Tell them they can't come back. Well, when you're in a small gym in a small town, first of all, you're taking the flyer out of a stunt group.
Right, that you can't just replace on a whim.
Right, because you don't have, hundreds of other athletes waiting to take that spot. So there's that issue. You're hurting the team. Plus, I always preach family and always preach that closeness in my gym. They're not a faceless customer. Right.
They're part of your family that is maybe having some financial issues, and you're just going to like kick them out over that.
Right. So
such a double-edged sword.
It is. So I struggled with that part of it. I could go back and do some things different, and how I handled that, but I always struggled with that. Like that was a tough thing for me. Mm-hmm. Because it's that relationship. It's that you don't want to just kick them out and say, "Oh, sorry for you. You can't pay."
Right, and that could be like the only, that kid's whole life, this cheerleading team and their friends that they have on the team. Like at that point, you'd be hurting everyone involved.
Right, because some kids, when they come to the gym, that's their one happy part of their life.
Right.
Because when they get to go home, it's not such a nice place.
Yeah, sometimes that's the case.
It is. And so, there's things that, we don't see and they don't share with us, which I can understand that sometimes.
Sure.
So it's just a delicate thing, and I don't know how I got on that little tangent, but
we've gotten deep on this first podcast, Chad.
We really have.
What's going on?
Well, we just start talking and it kind of just goes.
I know. Our crazy conversations that last forever. Why not just put them on mic?
For everybody to hear. But yeah, it's a relationship thing. And, we want to have relationships with all of our clients, whether it's music producer to gym owner to coach to gym owner to athlete to parent. Like relationships build this industry.
That's right.
Across the board, from producers to owners to whatever.
Absolutely. That's why competitions are so important. We always make it a point to try to go to the big competitions to see as many clients as we can every year, because, we're stuck behind a computer all season and they just know us as a person who answers emails or sends them an MP3. But it's important to go and like show them, we care. Yeah. We love what we do and we love working with who we work with, and we care and we want to be there to support everyone and meet them face to face.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that this year, because I haven't done a good job of going to many competitions after I closed my gym. And there's a psychological part of that, of just the burnout and the negativity of having to close my gym.
Sure.
Kind of wanting to separate myself from competitions and stuff. But I'm looking forward to doing that more this year. I really am.
It's so much fun. It's like my payoff. Like we just like grind through busy season and all fall, and it's just like head down, we're working hard. And then competitions, we get to like go and see, as corny as it is, the fruits of our labor, and like, seeing all the clients and, giving hugs to the people that we talk to every day over email and phone. It's such a payoff. It like revitalizes me and like gives me energy for the next busy season.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. And I love watching, you and Des shoot videos and post those from NCA and at Worlds. And
yeah, we have a blast. It's so much fun. We love running into people. We got backpacks this last year, and it has like the New Level Music logo and then our names under it. And we'd just be like walking around, and they're like, wait a second, you're Molly or you're Des with New Level? And they'd tell us who they were, and, we'd hug it out. And it was so cool to just meet everybody.
Well, when we have Des on, we're going to have to get her to tell us a story about Worlds this past year.
Oh, she's got a funny story. Funny story there, Des.
Uh-huh. Yep.
We'll wait on that, though.
Uh-huh.
We'll make that a teaser.
There you go.
She's dedicated, to say the least.
She is. She is.
But yeah, hopefully we're going to have some mics with us at the competitions this year, and we can do some interviews and, put some people on and maybe do like a competition compilation of interviews or something. That'd be so cool.
Or a competition. I like that idea. Maybe we can do some giveaways.
Oh, that's cool. Way to put that in the cheer universe, Chad. This has turned into our brainstorm session. Yeah, I want to get everyone involved, though. I want everyone to be involved with this. That's why we've tried to have such a bigger presence on social media this year. The involvement with all the people, throughout the industry is fun.
It is. And, we want to...
And productive, because then we know things that, people want to see and hear, and we can base our content off that.
Yeah, that's that's why we want the feedback. If we have an idea about what you guys might want to hear and watch, and so we're going to kind of start with that. But if you guys give us feedback and we have to change directions, we're good with that too. Like, we want to do this for y'all. I promise you, we're not sitting here talking to each other and recording each other and going through all of these audio technical difficulties just because we have nothing to do on a Wednesday afternoon.
Exactly.
So
I've got my coffee. We had an hour worth of technical issues before we got here. Uh-huh. It's all going to be worth it, Chad.
Yes, it will be. It will be.
Yeah, we appreciate the feedback. Hit us up on social media. You can always, reach us through the New Level social media. We also have our own. I'm at New Level Molly on Twitter. What are you, Chad?
Crap.
Are you looking it up right now?
I am. Because I had to get a new one.
Yeah.
I had to get a new one because for some reason, like, Twitter it messed my first account up, so I had to get a new one, and it was just...
It's all Twitter's fault.
First of all, before anybody asks or comes to a conclusion and assumes, I wasn't banned from Twitter. I didn't post anything.
That's like a big thing right now, though.
It is, and that wasn't me. It just, for some reason, my feed wouldn't refresh, and it showed I had 0 friends, which could be true.
It wasn't Twitter. It was just you legit had 0 friends.
Yeah, that's probably it. But so I just said, well, you know what? I'll just start over. But no. So my new one is at Chad Reed, REID TLP. So for Team Legacy Productions. So at Chad Reed TLP.
Awesome. Get in touch with us. Give us some love.
Yes.
Or some constructive criticism. Either one is fine.
Just if it's the key word there, like, I can take criticism as long
but it
as
has
it's
to be constructive.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be a troll.
Well, mean people are just mean.
It takes too much energy to be negative.
That is true.
Way too
That's
much energy.
true. I like to just drink my coffee and be happy. I'm not happy without coffee. But once I have my coffee, I'm happy.
I've watched the transformation over the past couple hours.
I get a lot more peppy.
It's been a sight to see.
My husband knows not to talk to me before my cup of coffee in the morning. He avoids me.
Does he really?
Yeah, he really does. If I'm having a bad morning, he's like, will you just go to Starbucks? When you come back, you'll be better.
See, my girlfriend doesn't drink coffee. She drinks Diet Dr. Pepper. Which, first of all, I'm not a Dr. Pepper fan, diet or regular. Like, I've never liked it. But I've learned over the course of us dating to keep a stock in the fridge.
Yeah. You're learning to like it. Maybe not.
No,
taste.
I don't drink it, but I make sure every time she gets in a mood, here, honey.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, have one. Please. I insist.
No, for real.
No, I'm good. No, you're not.
Shout out to the spouses who put up with us every day.
Right. God love them.
Yep.
Well, that's a good tease, and we can leave off there for today because I've kind of told a little bit about me today. So next time we can get into the life of Molly because you've got a wonderful husband, 2 beautiful kids.
Yeah. It's all babies, and the hubby. I have that normal, boring life, and I love it.
And John's not, I got to say, John's not too happy with this.
John's jealous.
He is.
He wants to do the podcast. I told him we'd have him on sometime. He'll be a good one to talk to. My husband's a fireman and a paramedic, so he has some interesting things to say and talk about. We'll have him on for a podcast one time.
Absolutely. Yeah, so John's not too happy with this situation.
He'll get over it.
That's funny.
All right. Well, I think we've rambled enough for the day, Chad.
I think so too. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you'll keep paying attention and keep watching and listening as we drop future episodes. We've got one coming soon, and we hope you get something out of it. Absolutely. Be on the lookout for our next one, and we'll leave you with that. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, guys. We will talk to you later. Bye.